2025 was an important year for animals. Not because of one law, or one discovery, or one disaster. We took some hits. We celebrated some real wins. But no matter who you are or where you live, something shifted. Some changes were loud. Others were so quiet, we almost missed them. Animals adapted, withdrew, surprised us. And in small, unexpected ways, 2025 forced us to look again at how we share this planet. Not all of it was good. Not all of it was bad. But none of it was insignificant. In 2025, California passed a law that made it illegal to declaw your cat for non-medical reasons. That might sound like a small policy change, but it wasn't. For decades, declawing was treated as normal. A routine procedure, a compromise we told ourselves was harmless. It never was. Declawing isn't removing a nail. It's the amputation of a cat's toes, done not for medical need, but for human convenience. What changed in 2025 wasn't cats. Veterinarians refused to keep doing it. Pet owners started asking better questions. And quietly, society admitted something uncomfortable. We crossed a line, and we finally stopped pretending we hadn't. This wasn't about punishment. It was about awareness, catching up to ethics. And for the first time in a long time, the change went in the animals' favor. But while we were fixing some things, others were slipping away. There's something missing from summer nights now. If you grew up chasing fireflies, you don't need it explained. You feel it. They didn't disappear all at once. They faded. One year, there were fewer, then fewer again. Until one night, the dark didn't blink back. Fireflies aren't just nostalgia. They're pollinators, indicators of healthy soil, signals that an ecosystem is still working. And in many places, that signal is going quiet. Pesticides, habitat loss, artificial light that never turns off. None of it dramatic on its own, but together, devastating. What makes this loss so unsettling isn't just that fireflies are vanishing. It's that so many people didn't notice until they were almost gone. There were no headlines, no countdown, just a silence that slowly became normal. And that's how some of the most important changes of 2025 happened. Not loudly, not suddenly, but quietly enough to slip past us, unless we were paying attention. What makes losses like this so unsettling isn't just what's disappearing, it's how quietly it happens. And it isn't just happening on land. The ocean used to sing. Whales called to each other across hundreds of miles. Low, ancient voices, older than human language. In 2025, researchers noticed something chilling. They were calling less, not because they were gone, but because the ocean had become too loud, too warm, too unpredictable. Shipping noise, sonar, marine heat waves. And at the same time, animals were adjusting to those changes. Humans were debating something else entirely. Whether climate change should still be officially recognized as a threat. The EPA endangerment, finding the scientific determination that greenhouse gases endanger life, came under renewed pressure to be weakened or revoked. Not because the science changed, but because acknowledging it carries responsibility. Here's the part animals don't get a vote on. While we argue over definitions, the ocean keeps warming. And when animals stop communicating, it isn't adaptation, it's retreat. The ocean didn't lose its life in 2025, it lost its voice. If you noticed the whales, or you noticed the fireflies, hit subscribe, and we can keep watch together. 2025 wasn't only a year of retreat. In a few rare cases, when humans stepped in early enough, the story went a different way. An injured Eurasian griffon vulture was found weak and grounded. It couldn't fly. And for a bird that lives almost entirely in the sky, that's usually the end of the story. Instead, it was rescued, treated, rehabilitated, and when it was finally released, researchers fitted it with a GPS tracker, mostly to make sure it survived. What they didn't expect was where it would go. The vulture didn't linger. It didn't circle back. It flew across mountains, across borders, across thousands of kilometers of open sky, from India to Kyrgyzstan, and eventually back again. More than 15,000 kilometers in total. No map, no instructions, just instinct and a sky that still, somehow, worked. In a year defined by quiet losses, this one bird delivered a reminder we rarely get anymore. When animals are given time, space, and the chance to heal, they don't forget who they are. That wasn't the only story of resilience and adaptation in 2025. Across the world, many animals are adjusting to life closer to us, not because cities are perfect, but because so much of their original habitat has already been altered. Human use of land has changed more than 70% of the planet's ice-free land. Forests cleared, fields expanded, roads and cities stitched across once continuous ecosystems. The result isn't just loss, it's compression. Animals pushed into smaller, fragmented spaces, forced to adapt, and often forced closer to us. After stories like the vulture, it's tempting to think survival is rare. But in many places, animals didn't disappear at all. They adapted. Coyotes walking city streets at night. Raccoons opening trash cans with expert precision. Foxes raising families beneath porches and rail lines. People called it invasion, but that's not what it was. Cities expanded. Animals adjusted. And in some places, they even rebounded. In Michigan, that became impossible to ignore. For generations, cougars had been written off there, reduced to old stories and disputed sightings, but confirmed evidence began to surface. Trail cameras, tracks, clear, unmistakable signs.
First time in more than a century, cougar cubs have been discovered living in the wild right here in Michigan.
Wild cougars, moving quietly, avoiding people, doing exactly what apex predators do. When there's just enough space to exist, their return didn't come with fanfare. It came as a reminder, life can find a way. There's still time. There's still hope. If you take one thing away from this video, let it be that. Things can get better, but not by accident. The stories you just watched didn't happen because nature magically fixed itself. They happened because of choices. Choices to protect habitat. Choices to step back instead of take more. Choices to notice what was disappearing before it was too late. Animals are adapting, surviving, sometimes even returning. The question is whether we're willing to meet them halfway, because hope isn't passive. It doesn't show up on its own. It starts with paying attention. What happens next is still up to us.